Brian. Today we're doing a Garrett Wilson Dynasty value or price check. So I have a trade here for you, a 12-team super flex, full PPR, zero point 0.8 tight end premium. So you're getting 1.8 points per reception. 4 tight ends, start 10. Do you want Garrett Wilson or do you want Jaden Reed and the 110 in this year's rookie draft?
I want Garrett Wilson.
It's a tough one, though. Is it clear cut Garrett Wilson for you, or is it makes you think for a second before you decline or accept?
The thing is, like, so Jaden Reed. I know we've talked a lot about the Packers passing game. I don't know who it's gonna be there on any given week. Like, it's fine to want a piece of that, but I'm just not super high on it. I just and the 110 is definitely. I feel much better about Garrett Wilson than the receiver that's going to go at 110, which will probably be wide receiver 5 or so in the class. So, yeah, I just feel like Garrett Wilson, he's shown it already with bad quarterback play basically for 2 years. And we're hoping it'll be a little better this year. But I think the talent is there. Just the situation needs to get a little better for him to really break out.
Yeah. What makes this one so interesting to me is the 110 aspect of it, because that's, as much as we want to speculate, it's March 10th, by the way. Free agency is about to start, and draft is obviously a couple months away. As much as we want to speculate, we don't know. The 110 is where there's a lot of unknowns. So, especially in a tight end premium, you're going to miss out on the top 3 receivers. You're going to miss out on Brock Bowers. So there's 4 guys. Probably going to miss out on the top 4 quarterbacks. I'm throwing J.J. McCarthy as like a top 10, 12 pick at this point. So, so there's 8, right? And then you're probably missing out on wide receiver 4 in this draft class. There's probably going to be a top 15, 20 pick. And now, where are we sitting? Are we getting another first-round receiver? Probably, but we don't know. Is there Michael Penix or Bo Nix going to be taken high or early second? We don't know. So the 110 part of it is very, very interesting to me. It's a start
possibly
10.
Sorry, I was going to say possibly even the running back 1 if someone goes to a favorable spot. So there's that aspect of it too. We don't know who that's going to be necessarily, but
yeah. It's a start 10, so it's a pretty standard league, I think, for 12 teams. Start 10. It's not super deep. It's not shallow. It's like right there. It's just, is Jaden Reed going to be a difference maker in a start 10? Because honestly, Garrett Wilson, if I had to go and look at their value in a start 10, Garrett Wilson, who's I think wide receiver 26 last year and wide receiver 21 his rookie year, that's not really, and that's playing every game. That's not really making a huge difference. Like, it's fine, but it's not a difference maker, right? But he hasn't lost value because how much of his value is Aaron Rodgers? Like, if you knew Zach Wilson was his quarterback next year, where is Garrett Wilson at? Would you make this trade? And where is he at in terms of like wide receiver rankings?
I think I'm still not making the trade. I don't think. Like, I'd rather still have the Garrett Wilson side of it. But I do think he would be right around, a lower end wide receiver 2, like, is kind of what we would expect. But with upside, I guess. Like, probably wide receiver, let's call it 20 to 24.
Yeah, maybe slightly higher because of age or something, but and that's.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant finish for next year.
That's
where
fine.
I would actually rank him like dynasty wise. But go ahead.
No, but for dynasty, I think he'd be closer to like that top 15 rather than, I think he's like wide receiver 6 or 7 still, right? So, that's a little worry for me. Is like a lot of his value it's baked into with Aaron Rodgers, and the fact of the matter is, the last time we saw Aaron Rodgers play, he wasn't very good. And he tore his Achilles last year, and he's like 41 years old. And we've never seen a quarterback this old, or we don't even really see quarterbacks come off. Achilles injuries for quarterbacks are kind of rare, but especially 41-year-old quarterbacks, it just has never happened. This is literally something we've never seen before. So I think Terry McLaurin and DJ Moore are good cautionary tales of, hey, we think they're both really, really good. It took DJ Moore until his 6th year to have a really, really elite season. I think Terry McLaurin, I think he's had like a top 12 season, but it was kind of a down year for receivers. He hasn't had a truly elite season, and we're going into year 6 this year, So I think there's an argument if you want to flex out and get the 110 if you really like this draft class. Now, what if this was the 108 and you're basically guaranteeing yourself a Brock Bowers or Roma Dunze or JJ McCarthy, who potentially are all top 10 picks? Do you make that trade now?
It's definitely getting closer. I was thinking at 6, you definitely make it. At 7, it's very close. I don't know. I'd say that's kind of the proper range. Like 7, 8 makes it definitely more intriguing, but 6, I think it's like easier to accept. But if I am doing that, then I'm trying to trade Jaden Reed also. Like as soon as I acquire him, not to have anything against him, but yeah.
I think at the 108 in a tight end premium, I'm taking it. In a 1.8 per reception for tight ends, I'll take it because I'm guaranteed a Dunze, Bowers, or McCarthy. And I'm fine with like a Dunze could be the best receiver, probably not, but he could be as good as like a Malik Neighbors, right? Like he's still a top 10 receiver potentially. We don't know yet, but it's really interesting with Garrett Wilson because I'm a big Garrett Wilson fan. I think he's really good. But like we've seen the quarterback play limit him severely. I mean, the dude had 160 targets, I think, 68 targets last year. Like it wasn't a Drake London case of just like, they're not really, there's certain games where he gets like 3 targets and no catches or 1 catch, right? 168 targets, but because you have a terrible quarterback, that was, by the way, that was 4th most. It was CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, and Garrett Wilson. And Devontae Adams, you can kind of throw in there too of bad quarterback play, even if you're getting the targets, limits you severely, right? So he's a pretty interesting one. So 106, you're for sure doing it. 107, 108, you're considering it heavily, yeah? And anything after that.
It would just really depend on the team. But yeah, I think that's the proper range, It's just so tough. Like I was gonna say, you're kind of trading away like someone is good for someone who could be good. But I think you made a pretty fair argument, like where it's like, what is the actual outlook for Garrett Wilson? I think that is, we can't just assume like he's ranked wide receiver 7 right now on Keep Trade Cut, and it's like, I don't know. I definitely would take AJ Brown above him. That's the guy right after him, but yeah, fair enough. I like it.
Yeah. So that's Garrett Wilson. He's an interesting one again. Free agency. We'll see how that affects things. I don't think it's going to affect too much for Garrett Wilson, but it could. We're going to be making these videos just kind of 5 to 10 minute, probably closer to 10-minute videos of just, checking on the price check of these guys. It's always important to keep yourself updated. So any last words on any of these, or we'll kind of wrap this video up?
No, I think we're good.
We are good. So we will catch you guys next time. We'll probably be looking at Saquon Barkley in the next video. As always, like and subscribe, and we will catch you guys then.